Ladies and gentlemen, are you guys ready to start the live stream? Make some noise. Can I get a hell yeah? All right. Let's do it. Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic host, Bachelor After Show. Hello, everybody. Hold on a second. We're going to reset up everything. What's going on over here? Got a bunch of lights in the way. Check, check, check. All right, we're grooving. They left us on a cliffhanger. Where we are right now, on a cliffhanger right there. All right, where do we start? What a show it is. Oh, Veronica says Genevieve is so hot. I will not oppose your viewpoints. Yeah, to me, it's like, oh, hello, Kate, Sarai. Veronica says, Genevieve so hot. KJ says, are you ready to unpack this for us tonight? I'm ready to hit the like button. You guys realize if we had 100% like button participation, I would probably be doing more live streams. You know what I mean? I'm not blaming you. You guys are the ones that are here. I'm just saying. You know, I don't know what it was. Last year when we started, you know, maybe mid-summer, these live streams were like triple the views. And maybe it's because I'm competing with Fantake. You know, he does East Coast live streams too. I think we're a different vibe. I think you like him or you like me. I don't think him and I are doing the same thing. And I don't mean that in any way to disparage the good name of Bachelor Fantake. Not one whatsoever. He's a very nice man. All right. Well, the voicemail line's open, 401-213-9828. Let's make that box a little smaller. 401-213-98. Oh, it still says pre-show. Can you believe that? Hold on. Whoa. You always think you're ready until you're not. Give me a second. Give me a break. All right. Try not to eat chocolate today, guys. Oh, boy. Woo-hoo, boy. I'm trying. All right, let's go to these thumbnails here. And we'll check the voicemails in a few minutes. We'll let the chat keep populating. Here's the after show. Look, I made this nice graphic and everything. I was so excited. And then we didn't even get to it. But we knew this was going to happen, right? We knew they were going to milk the Shenae storyline like it was, I don't know, some sort of, I was going to make a cow reference, but maybe not. All right. So there it is. Let's move away to instrumental music. And, yeah, did you guys see what Tasha made? Tasha made this on the merch account. You know, Shenae said, I'll ruin a cocktail party if I have to. I think that's such a good line from Shenae. You know, you can hate the villain all you want, but that's a good line. Let's see if we got any comments. I hope we don't have to pay Shenae any royalties. Oh, Disgruntled Female says, that's awesome. Yeah. So anyway, the link is in the comment section, pinned up top. But I think I'm going to have to buy one because there's something funny about saying, I'll ruin a cocktail party if I have to. I just feel like Shenae's a bad representation of the actual quote. Like, she said it, though. Credit where it's due. Do I want to buy a hoodie? I'll ruin a cocktail party. It's tough to read on this right now. And then Tasha made this one. These bitches ain't sending me home. Wear that to your sorority. How about blue? What's the black one do? Oh, that's a... All right. What do we got for comments? Embracing the Chaos says, I think I'm just going to skip the next couple weeks. I mean, we already know who the top 3 are. Well, there's no spoilers here. No spoilers here. We don't know that, though. They've proven to be a little misleading with the way that they say who's who. So we don't know for sure. A cruel cliffhanger, says Gina Rasici. Elizabeth Stencil's in the house. Aldi's favorite Elizabeth Stencil. Jen Murphy said, cliffhanger over the falls. That's right. They're making us work for it this time. All right, let's go back to the top of the comments. Looks like we have a lot. Aaron Bray says, I'm so sick of Shenae. She's such a horrible person. It's hard to watch. I don't have the skills to properly diagnose what's going on in her brain. But yeah. You know, she apologizes and we're like, yay, she apologizes. All the women rally around her and she's like, psych. You know what I mean? Hold on a second. I'm going to try to adjust this to a 16 by 9. We'll move that over. That I just freed up. Yeah, I just created more space here. There we go. Oh, we just got a super chat. Trying to see what that is. Who's a super chat? Oh, it just disappeared. Hold on, let me see. Oh, Rach just sent a super chat. I'm 11 months sober today. Everyone have some wine tonight for me. Oh, congrats, Rach. I'm having actually, I'm not drinking wine, but I've got a blackberry water for you here. Good for you, Rachel. Oh, Rach. Sorry, I said Rachel. I'm assuming it's Rachel, but good for you. We're proud of you. Absolutely. Molly says, I always just wonder why you would not prefer finding love and making friends. That sounds ideal. I hear ya. Yeah, I hear ya on that one. You know, and maybe that's what she initially wanted, but maybe, and again, what do I know? But maybe Shenae just like feels judgment by other women and she's like extra defensive and the coping mechanism is to push people away. I maintain that I feel like people don't want chaos like that in their lives, but that's just all they know. Look, the way we heard Shenae kind of talking, she kind of just sounds like her intelligence level might be lower than some as far as communication goes. I don't know. Was Shenae like just left in front of a Jerry Springer, you know, show when her formative years? You know what I mean? I mean, seriously, she acts as if she was. And for that, I do pity her. I feel bad for her. If that's the case. I don't know. Maybe she's perfectly fine and she's just doing a good job. You know, maybe the Bachelor is paying off her student loan debt. They're like, can you just be a villain? We'll cover your Sally Mae. She's like, yeah, F these hoes. You know what I mean? All right. Rachel's getting a lot of congrats. Layla says, Gabby is so out of his league. I don't know. Is she? Listen, Clayton shows up with such positivity. He really does. He's so positive. He's letting Shenae, you know, take advantage of him, really. That, I don't know if that's a bad thing, that he's just like gullible. You know, I don't know. I think that could be a good thing when he finds the right one. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Gina Rosici says, wow, I think you're the first person to pronounce my name correctly on the first try. Hey, Gina, come on. I try to get these things right. Don't get me wrong, I'm still butchering Claire Crowley's name. Nick Vial, I don't know how to say these people, but Rosici, I got you. I know my Italians. I don't mess with my Italians. All right, let's get into it. Nicole Bayless says, me pretending to be shocked that Clayton kept Shenae another week. Yeah, I mean, you know, this is like the Bachelor printing money. They're like, look, let's get some inflation going. Let's just print some more drama. I have not been to Niagara. I've never been to Niagara Falls. Haven't done it. Veronica says Niagara Falls is deafening. Yeah, I'm sure it's very loud. I am sure. All right, I'm trying to get to the bottom of the comments. I think I made it to the bottom. Can you imagine if Shenae is the final Rose winner and Clayton and Shenae are watching these episodes together? Well, you know, I mean, if Shenae was the winner, and by the way, let's go to some voicemails because I think this is sort of pertinent to it. I'll tell you what, let's go to voicemails right now because we have a lot. But yeah, look, there's a strong push to get Shenae to be the next Bachelorette.
Let me know. Hey Dave, it's Elizabeth from Southeast Pennsylvania again. Plot twist. Shenae for Bachelorette. What do you think? Let me know.
Trying to get the right. This is, if we're gonna do Shenae for Bachelorette, ladies and gentlemen, imagine a world in a parallel universe, the upside down world, where Shenae is officially Bachelorette. Do do. Do 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 do. Let's see what this says.
Hi, Dave. It's Elizabeth calling from Southeast Pennsylvania.
What up?
By
the way, Southeast Pennsylvania, Northeast, Southwest, Central. I don't know Pennsylvania, okay? But I appreciate it.
Currently, I'm watching the episode this week. I didn't watch it last week, so I wasn't sure I was going to be able to take it. But I am watching this section. The TV is muted. I don't know if I can even. I don't know if I have the brain capacity to even listen to the BS. You know, because I know that she's going to make it past this point because they're in Houston still. So Niagara Falls is not in Houston, which means only one thing. And that she gets a rose.
That's right. All right, so everyone in the comment section got triggered. All right, we're not really wanting Shenae to be Bachelorette. But, I mean, look, will she be on Bachelor in Paradise? I know a lot of people are like, no, she's too bad of a villain. It's like, how don't you want bad villains on the show? I get it. All right, keep talking.
Hey, Dave, it's Christy from Springfield, Missouri again. Jesus, Shenae made me bring out the rum bottle tonight. And I guess we could say the theme is love on the brain for Rihanna, considering that's what's on Clayton's brain right now with Shenae. Yeah, that was something. And the girls trying to be comfortable roasting and everything don't realize that they're being roasted on national television. So, yeah, that's all I can say is wow. The producers are definitely working pretty freaking hard on that, and my heart just goes out to all the girls on there because they have to relive all this stuff. Anyways, bye.
Bye. Yeah, I think as far as the roasting went, that it was like they were able. You have to appreciate Shenae's ability to unite everyone else in unity. Like right now, the world is so divided. We're about to go to war with people. The one side hates the other. Everything's so divided. The only way Earth unites is if aliens show up and attack us, right? We all watched Independence Day. We need Will Smith over here to save the world. We need to get out there and save the world and make America nation of the world. I don't know. But the point is that Shenae is the alien we all needed. Shenae is the alien we all needed to abduct our soul, is what I'm trying to get to. All right, let's continue.
Hey, Dave. Lots of opinions about tonight's show.
Hi, Karen.
It is Karen from Hamilton, Ontario. I swear I heard Bachelor Nation start screaming when he started kissing Shenae at the cocktail party. 2, why do they keep focusing on his hands on legs? It makes him look creepy. 3, maple syrup kisses, yummy. 4,
we got a list.
Did anyone else notice Genevieve was in a white raincoat and Shenae was in a black raincoat? And 5, is everyone else seeing those Love Honey commercials?
No.
Hope everyone's having a great night. Bye.
Bye. I've been getting my East Coast feed from random Florida and New York stations. So it's kind of nice. I was watching, I live out here in Los Angeles. I'm watching the feed and it's like hurricane approaching the coastline. I'm like, what? You don't get hurricanes in LA? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm watching Florida. Oh boy, to be young. Anyway, Teresa, I'll hook you up with a feed if you want. And I'll get you the feed that'll get you to watch the East Coast. I don't think I should be saying that on here though. I feel like that's a violation. It's anyway, folks. All right. Yeah. Ashley says Clayton is always squeezing thighs. Hey, he's a simple man who likes to squeeze a good thigh. We used to have a coach that would it was a weightlifting coach, and he would like squeeze our thighs and like while we worked out, and he would like test our muscles. And then like years later we were like, he was assaulting us. I'm laughing because it's in hindsight, it's like, that's just the emotion I have. It was never like cross the line. It was never, anything. But I was like, oh man, we had this guy who would just show up to the weight room and none of the other coaches would stop him. And he would just like, we would be doing pull-ups and he'd be like grabbing our thighs. I thought of Clayton there. I know Clayton's, he's trying to read the room better than my coach did. All right.
Dave, Neal, okay, hi, it's Jacqueline calling from tropical Toronto. I've got so much to unpack after seeing tonight's episode. One, it was great seeing Toronto by virtue of the camera guys. It's just so funny that of all the international traveling that this show has done, and I've watched The Bachelor since season 1, Toronto is the only one where they had to show it on a map to show people where it was. That just cracked me up. Anyway, the scene with the bees, that is absolutely the truth. You cannot eat outside in August and September. Up here, they're just insane. It's actually wasps, not bees. And I just lost my mind. I find it really hard to be interested in Clayton and the women, from Sarah making up words like comfortability or something like that she said, to these people not being able to string together a sentence without inserting the word like 27 times. I'm so not enjoying this season, but love your wrap-ups, and we'll continue watching to see how this plays out. I hope, seriously, that he sleeps with Shenae and then doesn't choose her, but she wasn't shown in any of the previews, so it'll be interesting to see if he does finally get rid of her, but he definitely likes her. Anyway, that's it. Talk to you soon, and that's it for now. Bye!
How funny. She goes, bye. She goes, I want Clayton to bang her and then ghost her.
Be careful who you bang.
Oh my gosh. I couldn't say that. I'm not allowed to say that. But hey, voicemails are voicemails. I guess you can say that. By the way, Canada is kicking our ass. I was going to censor myself. Oh, we're getting so many great calls from Canada. Where's Florida? Where's Texas? Somebody call in with a nice Louisiana accent. Come on, let's go. Let's go, USA. You want me to start playing the anthem? You better start calling in. 401-213-9828. Let's get into it. Lots of calls coming in here. Let's go to Kat. Speaking of the South, let's go to Kat from South Carolina.
Hey, Dave. It's Kat from South Carolina. I just wanted to express that I knew whenever everyone chose Clayton for the next Bachelor that it was some sort of production thing, but it is so clear now that production knew he would do anything that they asked for, and he is doing it right now. Anyway, thanks. Bye. Love your content.
Oh, thank you. I feel like you sounded forced to say that. Let me play the end. You were like, thanks, bye. I love your content. You know, my love language is making sure you tell me you love my content.
In right now. Anyway, thanks. Bye. Love your content.
I like how it trailed off. Thank you so much for the phone call. I appreciate you. Terry said, I have no respect for Clayton. He has shown bad judgment by giving Shenae umpteen chances and totally ignoring the rest of the women in the house. Geez, how dense can he be? Hey, like I've said before, let the person who has never pursued a red flag throw the first stone. Let the person that has never liked somebody, that, you know, was giving you all the signs in the world that they were bad. Now throw in producer manipulation, throw in all these other things we get to see that Clayton doesn't get to see. And I know people say, oh my gosh, people have been telling him. Yeah, but he likes Shenae. He needs to come to terms with what it feels to like her up here versus down there or whatever. He might even like her in here. He might actually like her. He might have gotten a good idea about her. So, like, I don't know, guys. I mean, if the roles were reversed, if we had, say, a bachelorette who really wanted to make a troubled guy work, I don't know. Would we be slamming her? Maybe. But I think we can all understand. We've all forgotten about that relationship we had. Remember when you were 26? Remember that person? You were afraid to tell your family you were back with them because you dumped them, and then your family's like, good, we hated that person. Then a week later, you're like, you want to come to Thanksgiving with me? And you're like, family, come on. We've all had it. Let's not pretend. Let's go to the next one.
Dave OMG, what the hell happened today on The Bachelor? It is insane what's going on here. Shenae needs to go home now. Enough is enough. Do you agree?
By the way, I love the call. I don't know who this is. You have a beautiful voice, sir, and please call back soon. Look, there's the part of me that enjoys mess that is like, hey, let Shenae keep on playing the whole field. Let Shenae keep lying through her teeth. But then there's the other part that understands it's triggering to people. She's a mess. And Clayton's going to have his own issues once Shenae's gone. I think they're playing the storyline out as long as possible. They've got the 2-on-1. Like, you know, they would have wanted Shenae to be on the group date with the roasting, but they had to save her for the 2-on-1. Obviously, I think we can all agree she's not going to make it out of the falls alive. But I mean, by alive, I mean on the show still. I hope she's, I know she's alive. I've been following her social media, but you know, they're gonna electrocute this storyline as high. They're going to turn it up as much as they can. Then they're going to forget about it for a few weeks. Then they're going to bring it back on Women Tell All.
Hey, Dave. My name is Miriam. I'm calling from Tennessee.
Hi.
Clayton. He is blinded. I want him to find love, but honestly, all of these women are out of his league, and they can do so much better.
Really?
And to be honest, I root for love, but I don't see any of those women staying with him forever, period.
I first of all love the subtle Tennessee accent. I don't get when people say these women are above Clayton. Now, maybe listen. My audience is 92% women. I'm assuming by the phone calls, that's about what the viewership is, right? So I can understand women wanting to go to bat for other women, be like, oh my gosh, you're so much better than Clayton. Clayton's a good-looking guy. He's strong. He's tall. Seems like he can hold a conversation. I mean, we don't really know. The lead, it's so hard to get past all the platitudes, so we really don't know. But I don't know. I don't think he's doing a bad job. Clearly, he hates watching this back. He said it's torture for him. He's accepting the fact that he's the butt of every single joke. I don't know. I'd love a phone call of someone defending Clayton here. If you do. All right. That's a blank call. Let's go to our friend Veronica, who has a lady crush on Genevieve.
Hi, Dave. It's Veronica from Los Angeles.
Hello.
I am reading from a script because, number one, I am drunk, and number two, I cannot keep my thoughts straight. So basically, I want to say that Shenae is like a decent villain, but we have to stop acting like her quote-unquote crimes are victimless, you know. When she offends a neurodivergent person like Elizabeth, she offends those of us watching at home, okay? So even if she's just attacking one girl, it affects everybody else that relates to her. She plays the role of a bimbo very well. She's not very intelligent. All right, fine. So that kind of makes like a good bimbo. Sorry, a good villain, because we can be like, okay, so she's bad, but she's not very smart. I just wish she would act hot, stupid, and leave everybody else out of it. Clayton clearly likes her, so she doesn't need to act hella goofy. She's giving secondhand embarrassment. This bitch needs to be slapped. Okay, thanks. Bye.
That's America for you right there. Hey, listen. Now, look, I'm the type who defends the defenseless. You know, I just naturally do that. And I'm not defending Shenae whatsoever. But I do no, there's no but to that. Although I do wonder, you see, you can tell I'm in a relationship, right? Because I know when not to say but, you know. Honey, I feel like you hurt my feelings. Now, I'm sorry, but no. I'm sorry. Furthermore, you gotta say furthermore instead of but. No. I wasn't looking at your sister that way. But no, whatever. Shenae, so the caller right there, Veronica, thank you so much, said, when Shenae insults somebody for their neurodivergency, she's insulting everybody. Which I get that logic. Is this new? Or like, I know we watch the show, and I know different things trigger different people. I just don't remember a time in which a villain was so cutting to people back home. Although I do remember, obviously with Greg Grippo, that had a visceral reaction to people. So I am trying to keep space for the psychology of what's happening here. If anyone wants to explain it, though, I'm curious. I'm curious to the psychology of how we get invested in them and then feel the trigger as well when someone's being made fun of. Now, look, I totally get it. If someone was up there being like, Clayton, you bald bastard, bald guys would be like, oh, come on, why do you got to bring our hair into this? Clayton's not bald. But so I can understand that kind of, and I'm trying to. I just personally, I'm trying to think of the last time, and again, my own privilege, but I'm trying to think of the last time I was triggered by something somebody said on the show. Although so the question is, who's responsible for this? Bachelor for airing Shenae. Shenae, now, and here's a tough one, or, and it can be all three, the person who is triggered. Because doesn't that mean you need to work something? Again, I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying, will the show ever be able to have a villain on that's anything other than cookie cutter, like quasi annoying? Like clearly Shenae hit a nerve in people. Now, what does that mean about the people that had the nerve hit? I don't want people to not be able to watch the show. I want people to feel free of whatever is out there that may trigger them, you know? But obviously the show, I guess, needs to try to balance out better villains. I don't know. I'd love to hear from you guys. Again, no clue what this solution is. Let's go to Florida.
Hey, this is Lindsay from Florida. I know you were asking about Florida. I just wanted to continue with what someone else had said about you looking like Genevieve. I thought y'all were brother and sister from the start, and I'm glad that someone else saw that. So that's all. I'm making it short, and I still think y'all look just alike. Thank you. Love you. Bye.
Bye. That's so funny. I can't, I don't think I look anything like Genevieve. I mean, she's got such like a pretty skin color. She's got like a dark, let's go to Genevieve's here. We did this comparison already. I'm looking for a good frontal photo here. Maybe. I can do the nose thing. Eyebrows? She's got darker features, is my point. And then a lot of people say, oh my gosh, you guys don't look anything alike. What I should do is show you photos of my sister. Anyway, she is from New England, so we got that going on. All right, let's go back. Let's go back to your voicemails. Brittany says, Dave is a dud. I think you meant Clayton, but if you mean me, hey, I've been called worse. Dave, he's a dud. As long as you hit the duds like button. Hey, a new subscriber. Look at that. We got a new subscriber here. One at a time. Bruna tells Casu. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It sounds French, maybe. Or Italian. What is that? Spanish? What is that? Thank you so much for joining the army of close to 52,000 people. All right, next up, Ashley.
Hi, Dave. It's Ashley from San Antonio, Texas. And I felt like today it was deja vu watching this episode. It sounded like Matt James during his season saying, thank you for sharing that for every single story these girls shared. And I'm tired of hearing that. So thanks. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for that call. I wanted to get back to Veronica. She's a 747 clip audio. Someone said we might have some audio there for the soundboard. We'll have to see about that. But thank you so much. And then Stacia said, oh my gosh, just saw the merch Tasha made. It looks awesome. So if you just jumped in the chat, this is what Tasha made. I'll ruin a cocktail party if I have to. That's the merch that Tasha made here. And if you click on the link that's on the top, you can customize it with different, these are 4 different t-shirt options there. So I feel like this would be a good shirt to wear to the gym. What do you guys think? I mean, look, if you're trying to get, here's the deal, ladies. If you men, it's 2022. There's a pandemic. People aren't necessarily talking to strangers. But let me tell you something. Men are so nervous to talk to women. Hey, not for any reasons that are new. I'm not one of those well, men can't even talk to women anymore. No. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying guys are nervous. It's hard to approach women. It's hard to approach people in situations. Someone might give you eye contact and you're like, what do I do? I'll just drink 3 more beers and then say something stupid. No, that's not what you do. Here's what you do. You put that shirt on, and then if a guy wants to talk to you, the font is small enough that he's going to come in close, and then he's going to go, oh, that's funny. I'll ruin a cocktail party. I get it. Oh, what's your name? Oh, cool. Yeah, you like The Bachelor? Yeah, a little bit. Oh, my, whatever. Yeah, whatever. That's great. I need somebody to buy this and then go out to the bars and let me know if this is an appropriate shirt to wear to generate a conversation. Just a thought. And then we've also got, if you just want to, these sell pretty good. The stickers are always nice. Those are an easy sale. You can put them on your, whatever you need to do. And then where's the other thing? I don't know. All right. Look, what's that? A tote bag? Oh, that's interesting. What is it? A carry-all pouch. Oh, it's a clutch. There you go. I think the t-shirt works the best. That's a nice one. All right. Anyway, we're not, whatever. Moving along. Okay. Next voicemail. Uh-oh. We have breaking news. This, people have been accusing me of being obsessed with Tayshia. And I've tried to fight my case, but it appears that this caller may be onto something.
Dave, why are you obsessed with Tasha? Bye.
Bye. Hey, what can I say? What can I say? She's an engaging. Oh, we got a lot of men calling, and this is very nice. Was that our second or third male call? Let's go to another.
Bruce from Oregon. Dave, let's defend Clayton a little bit.
Please.
Clayton, they probably keep him locked in the basement of the Bachelor mansion and let him out for a few hours every night. And there's 30 women scrambling after him, and he's just like a deer in the headlights. Also, remember the edit. Matt James, he kissed with his eyes open. He says, thanks for your input or whatever. And after the show, he's like a hilarious, funny guy. I think Clayton's the same way. He's got a bad edit, and after the show, we're going to see Clayton's a cool guy. Also, he's really buff. It's clear he's been lifting mustard way longer than me, for example. And, I think he gets a bad rap. Time will tell. Anyway, also, Dave, why are you so obsessed with Tasha? Okay? All right. Bye.
Bye. Well, look, what can you do? It's better to be, isn't it better to be loved than forgotten? I don't know. I don't know whatever the quote is, but, all right, let's go. I think Veronica's calling back here. Hey, Veronica, and I appreciate your phone calls by all means. It's more interesting when I can push back on people. You know what I mean? If we just all agreed on everything, oh, Shenae's the worst. All right, live stream's over. Bye, everybody. We'll see you later. You know what I mean? Like, what can we do? So we're trying to talk it out. All right.
Hi, Dave. It's Veronica again.
Hey, girl.
I just wanted to clarify my feelings about it. So obviously when Shenae is picking on Elizabeth, she's just picking on Elizabeth. But when we can relate to Elizabeth, with our auditory processing issues, it makes us feel like, okay, this is something that we've heard before. You know what I mean? Like, I've always been overweight and I've never been, conventionally attractive. So when somebody picks on another girl on screen for her weight, it just hurts a little bit more. I'm Mexican, so when somebody makes a Mexican racist joke on TV, even though it's through a script, it's like, okay, I can see why that would hurt the person acting as a Mexican through that script. So we shouldn't take it to heart because Shenae, again, is just attacking Elizabeth, but there is no way that we can just shut off that natural reaction to feel pain against what that person is feeling. So when Shenae is attacking Elizabeth, we can, inadvertently feel what Elizabeth is feeling, depending on our own experiences. Okay, thank you. I hope that clarified everything. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much. Dave's no longer here. It's Genevieve, bitch. All right. Chris says, someone photoshopped Dave's head on her body. Better yet, let's take care of it the old school way, the green screen way. All right. But I do appreciate you, Veronica. Who was making fun of Mexicans? Did I miss something? Or is that just an example? Veronica says, no, Jen is insanely attractive like a Greek goddess. I will go to battle for her. Of course she is. Gorilla says, Genevieve is very beautiful. I can see the resemblance to Dave. Clearly, I feel like you either see it or you don't. I don't really know who sees it, but let me see if I can get this fade level better. Oh, that's almost perfect now. Oh yeah, can I line up with her eyes? Is that that's so. All right, Bruce, get ready. We're doing Genevieve Day. I'm trying to go up to the comments here. I'm trying to get here. Sorry, there's a lot of comments here. So much to say. Layla says Dave's dudes are the best. Dave's dudes. Dave's dudes needs to be a thing. Let's go to the next voicemail here and go to Kim from Texas.
Hey, Dave. This is Kim from Texas.
Hi, Kim.
And I have several things to say. I'm just going to talk about the one thing, which is Clayton, and I'm going to go against the grain. I actually really like Clayton. I think he's cool people. I think everybody thinks he's a good guy, and he is. I don't think he's a weak man. I think he's someone who has tried to grow and be self-aware. He knows who he is. He knows, however, he is on a TV show. And I think he probably would have sent Shenae home last week. But I'm thinking maybe they asked him to keep another week Granted, he does have a connection with her, which is straight up physical. So he is very attracted to her, but I don't think he thinks that he is going to keep her to the end or anything like that. I think he was just calm down, let's chill, let's wait. It's a TV show, and Genevieve will be staying. I don't know if he's going to do it like give her a rose or if he's just going to send Shenae home. But I think Genevieve will probably be going home at the next at the rose ceremony or the following rose ceremony. She's not going to like be there to hometowns or to the next travel destination or whatever. But so everybody just calm down. But again, I think Clayton is a great guy. I don't think he's weak. I think this Shenae situation, people are thinking he's weak. But I think he's just trying to navigate through this situation. But I don't think he's a weak man. I think he's a good man. He probably has a little flavor when he's not having to deal with all this situation. I think he is probably a confident man. So it's TV. Granted, he is doing certain things, but it's TV, guys. Yeah, I like Clayton. And I'm not saying he's doing a great job, but it's TV. And, you know, I think he'll probably end up with Rachel anyway. I'm not spoiling anything.
Nobody knows.
All right. Bye.
Bye, Kim. Thank you so much. Look. Hey, you guys really liked Dave Genevieve over there. Sophia says we're all gonna have nightmares. Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal, Sophia. All nightmares. I had to get out of it. Yeah. Someone goes, what if? Who was it? Someone said, what if? Imagine someone coming to the live stream for the first time right at this moment. They'd be like, yeah. Imagine if Genevieve came to the live stream for the first time. She'd be like, the hell are they doing over there? All right, what can you do, folks? You know me, Green Screen Dave. Green Screen Dave, giving it to you. All right, well, let's see what we have here. Let's go to the next voicemail. I'm down to my last voicemail. If anyone wants to call in, 401-213-9828. You know these voicemails, when you call in, it makes the live stream last longer, so give it a call.
Hey, Dave and Chad. This is Erin from Austin. I was just calling to leave my 2 cents about Clayton. I don't know what people are expecting of him. He does not have life experience with this, and he's just a vanilla guy, you know. I think he's a perfectly nice human. Also, with Shenae, do you think that she's just doing this to be on Bachelor in Paradise? They have to take, like, a psych eval before they can go on, and she just seems like she has to be making this up. This is not a real human. So, I want to hear what y'all all think.
I don't think... thank you for the phone call. I don't think she's fabricating who she is. I just think she may lack the emotional ability to like see what she's done wrong, and she has maybe too much pride to go there. I don't really know. You know, I don't really know else how to call it other than, oh boy, that was loud. All right, we're getting a phone call here. Hold on a second. We're getting a phone call here, folks. Now, hold on 1 second. We have a guest in the green room. It's going to take me a second to figure this out. I do know this. I have to switch to MacBook Pro microphone. So I just switched microphones. Let's put the guest in the chat over here, and I got to find out if this is how. Oh, there she is. Hello, Sophia. How are you? Can you hear me?
Hi.
Oh, there you are.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
So your set's looking really nice over there.
Yeah, working on it.
So
Getting there.
Give us a tour. What do we have going on here? You got your drinks, your IKEA wall. You got some backsplash.
Yeah, well, I got my tea. I got a lot. Well, right now it's really witchy. I'm doing a witchy thing right now, but this is eventually going to change. My sign's going to go there.
Don't put a spell on me, okay?
Yeah, it's still a work in progress.
Honestly, I feel like someone's got a voodoo doll of me because my mic fell on me the other day, and then a light fell on me. So, no spells. We don't need any of that. So,
no.
I
will not be doing any spells on you.
Did you watch the episode? Are you caught up?
Yes, I'm caught up on all my Dave Neal content, I believe.
So, are we? Because you're the.
So
you're
in
the
defense
type
to Clayton.
okay, yeah, go ahead.
I Yeah, I just want to defend him because it's not his fault. Every guy they pick is super vanilla, and they want a guy who doesn't have a lot of personality. And even if they do have personality, they try to like crush that as much as they can so that they can mold them to be what they want. Also, the other thing is that with Shanae, everyone's giving her heat. Everyone's like, it's so a shtick, guys. Like, it's TV. Like your other caller said, it was Kim. She's trying to be the new Demi. She wants to go to paradise. She wants to move on or be known as a villain. She's playing up that card 100%. Like, she's owning that because that's how you stand out, whether you stand out as the villain or the good person or the victim, whichever character you choose, you're choosing a character. And I think she's owning up to that villain card. So,
I don't
I think it's
disagree.
an act.
I don't disagree, but I think I struggle with whether Shenae cried and actually felt bad and then afterwards had a defense mechanism to say, oh, F those girls. I don't think she made those tears up. I think she does want to belong.
Well, I think in her own way, she does want to belong, even though she's playing up the card. There is a bit of that. I also think that when she made her comment about the ADHD thing, I think she was honestly thinking that she was faking the ADHD, or they like, people use these things as a cover, or they'll say, oh, I have this, I have that. So she probably didn't even believe her and was like, oh, you're using this as an excuse, and she probably thought everyone was going to side with her, and then it turned out not to be true because people are very sensitive. These are sensitive issues, so
yeah,
I don't know.
it's
kind of feel bad for her. Like,
it's a fair sort of, it's not like a good defense, but it's a fair one to think that Shenae is probably has such a low like IQ that she doesn't understand ADHD because she doesn't live through it. And that's kind of like the narcissist who, if they can't put themselves in other people's shoes, because it's like, oh, you have ADHD. Oh yeah, we all have ADHD. It doesn't make it right that she's saying that. But I do believe that people think that way. Sorry,
I don't think it's fair that you keep saying that she has a low IQ. I think it's more of a sense of immaturity. That doesn't necessarily mean that she has a low IQ, because that is quite a judgment on your call. Like, I would be careful with that.
Have you heard the way she talks? Like, she can't. But hold on, she can't. Like, she couldn't even communicate with
immature.
Elizabeth.
I don't think that she's.
Is that an immaturity? Isn't that emotional intelligence, which is attached to your IQ? All right, take IQ out. Call it emotional intelligence. She doesn't possess the ability to hear someone else's point of view. I don't know. I'm not an expert on the difference between IQ and how it works with someone's emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
I know that's the hotbed word, but like she just doesn't seem smart.
Yeah, I think it's more about emotional intelligence, if anything, and level of maturity. Clearly, if you're playing the demi card, you're a little bit immature. You're a little bit out there. So, yeah. But I think it's a bit harsh or judgmental, or even, there are some people who have low IQs who are a lot more stable than that, or not playing up those cards, or not acting in that way. I think that that's very much a sass, an act, an exaggeration of who she really is. I think that if she does go to paradise, we're going to see a very different side to her, and I think she will go because they love it. The producers love this stuff. That's why she's all over it. That's why it's first season.
I think she might be too big of a villain, just from what I've read. So Kim says, "Come on, Dave. She said she was faking with the apology." I mean, I hear what she said. I watched it, and I'm not. Look, this isn't me writing her off. I just think even when you look at someone who's like pure villain, you go, all right, she clearly can't express herself, because the second she got defensive with Elizabeth, like, she saw Elizabeth as like a know-it-all. And if you're not well read and don't have access to a strong vocabulary, you're gonna see someone who's smart like Elizabeth is, and you're gonna feel threatened. So all of a sudden she's like, oh, sure, it's your ADHD. Then next thing you know, everyone else is like, oh my gosh, you have to apologize. Walls are up. She's defensive. Next thing you know, it's me versus the rest of the house, and it's been that way ever since. I just feel like she doesn't possess the ability to, like, to like understand that like not everyone wants to hate her, and she gets in that moment. Maybe the apology, like I mean, by all means, like Kim says, I want to trust that when she said she's faking it, she's faking it. But do I feel like she feels bad? Yeah. Do I feel like she doesn't? You know, is there pride that's attached? Or yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know. I'm no expert. I'm just thinking she's probably really hurt and is hiding behind this kind of like thing that wants to push everyone away. And maybe by feeling that way.
Well, of course, everyone who's acting like that is going to be hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe by feeling that way, I don't get offended so much.
Yeah. Well, like I said, she's playing it up so clearly. I feel 100% she's acting. I feel this is an act. I don't even think she's into Clayton. I think this is all like, even though of course there's like real emotions that are going to hurt. The minute we're not accepted into a crowd, we're going to, you know, feel a little bit isolating. The girls are being harsh with her because she is playing up the bad guard card. And like, so it does kind of feel like when everyone is like against you, you're definitely going to feel sensitive and, you know, feel threatened by so many people. And then that just amplifies how you act, right? Because then you become like defensive.
Yeah, we've all been that person.
You know,
like we've all, and again, PMD says, why so much defense and excuses for her? And it's like, well, this is what I do. I look at the Chad Johnsons and I go, how is this guy so angry? Well, his mom died. He's on steroids. He's got PTSD from the war. I look at these things. I want to know. It doesn't mean, and this is and again, I'm not blaming this commenter for this, but this is one of the problems when you try to explain is people take explanation as excuses. God forbid you want to know what's running through Chris Harrison's head as he's digging his own grave, you know? So it's just about like wondering what's going through someone's mind. And I'm not making excuses for Shenae. I'm trying to put myself in a situation where she didn't have the tools necessary to talk her way out of the shit she got herself into. You know?
Yeah. Exactly. Well, the thing too is that we're all human. Like no one is born evil. Like everyone has their own bag of experiences or their own things that shape them as a person. And all bullies were all bullied, like either be it by their parents or had a hard upbringing or were outcasts as well. So it's like we're not trying to diminish what she's doing in any way. I think we're just trying to humanize her because, you know, everyone deserves a little bit of empathy, a little bit, you know, no matter who they are, because we're all human. We're all going to make mistakes and we're all going to be like defensive depending on our age. And then hopefully you mature out of it and you learn from it and you change. But like, I find that a lot of the time, you know, we're too harsh on people and then people don't want to hear sympathy for the bad guy. They never want to hear sympathy for the bad guy.
Yeah.
You know? Or the bad gal in our case.
It's so funny. MB says, I'm totally agreeing with Sophia tonight. By all means, go for it. I just it cracks me up when you have to there's no we're talking about it. There's no I don't know tally for like what the actual truth is with Shenae. We don't know. But it's easy to be like, oh, cancel Shenae. Yeah, sure. I don't think she should be on Bachelor in Paradise. But it's fascinating because clearly Clayton really likes her, or else he would have gotten rid of her like 3 weeks ago. So he got rid of Cassidy. Cassidy was a good hookup, but he was
I think Clayton really likes how she looks. Clayton, I'm sorry. I know that it might be producers, but Clayton also hasn't he comes off to me as a little bit of perv. Like, so I don't know what it is, but there's something that they're like, it's not that they're showing that he's grabbing legs. He's grabbing legs. He's a grabber, which to me, I'm like, oh God, I see a man grab a neck, I want to kill him. But that's just me. But to me, he has a bit of a desperation vibes. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah,
they pick a vanilla guy, and that's their words, not mine. I think Clayton. I mean, I think just because he's a pale white guy, I mean, maybe he's vanilla. I think it's hard to tell. Matt James came off sort of vanilla-y, and he's the least of vanilla. But like the show clearly doesn't showcase the personalities of the lead. Veronica says, "Can we stop defending shitty behavior?" I guess the live stream's over. Like, what do you want us to do? We're talking about it.
Just throw it all away. It don't matter.
What are you drinking?
Only my opinion counts.
What are you drinking over there?
Oh, just a tea. Actually, look, it's Dave's tea. It's your kind of tea. I gotta send you some. It's really good. It's Canadian.
Is it like a weed? Is it weed tea? or is it just normal
No,
tea?
no. It's normal tea, but they're super yummy, and it's just a loose leaf tea brand in Canada, super popular. It's our version of Starbucks for tea. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
So
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Reading some comments, Dr. Joss says, this is good TV. It gets everyone riled up. And like we've mentioned before, at what point is The Bachelor going to fly too close to the sun? It's good TV. You know what? Matt James' season in some ways was good TV, but they shit all over it. They like really botched it, but the ratings were insane. So what's good TV versus what's like ethically and moral TV are two different stories. Brittany Galvin having a
It's
rumor.
always hanging on the end.
Yeah, there's all these examples of like good TV, but at whose expense? I like to talk about it because it'd be really boring if we all agreed that Shenae's just evil, and it's nice to be like, all right, well, but I mean, I hate to use this as an example, and maybe this isn't good for you because you're over there in Canada, but it's like even Mitch McConnell is somebody's uncle. Oh my gosh, I know we don't like Mitch McConnell. He's from my fiance's state of Kentucky, But Veronica to say, stop defending shitty behavior. No. Where's the camera? No, Veronica.
No.
We're talking about it. Talking is not defending. Oh my gosh. Because you know what happens is then a Reddit thread comes up tomorrow. Dave Neal defends Shenae. I just want to know what's making her so angry. All right? Come on. What time is it?
Yeah.
I'm going to be getting out of here in a few. Gina Rasici just joined the Patreon. Thank you, Gina. We appreciate you. Let's see. I'm trying to see what other comments we're getting in here. I really got to figure out this this live stream so I can use the good audio. I'm talking to you through the camera's audio, which is still okay, but it's not the same. But this echoes, so I got to figure that all out. But keep working on that witchcraft that you got going on behind you.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I should have some stuff out soon. It's just this room is a big project. This is just like this corner is something, and then the chat area is a whole other side. So it's just maybe I'm taking on too much, but I like a big project. So
It's
I don't
fun.
know.
And
We'll
if
see.
now you bought, did you buy the same lights that I have? Did you?
Yes.
Do your,
Well,
do
I
your lights
have the
this thing?
smaller.
Oh, you got like the little plate?
No, they're connected lights. I should have gotten wireless. I've been realizing that lately because I have so many wires. It's like a maze to get out of the of the area.
You should see my
It's
dog.
like an
by the
obstacle course of cameras and lights.
My dog just like
Yeah.
half the time the live stream goes down, it's just because he like tripped on a cord. But anyway, we'll have to see. I'm not surprised that Bachelor milked this 2-on-1 as long as possible. I just feel bad that Genevieve got stuck in it because I see a world where she could have been somebody's winner. She could have been somebody's she could have been the next Bachelorette. She could have been. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we don't know enough about her, but I'm just surprised she's not like in Clayton's like top first 1-on-1. You know what I mean? No offense to these other ladies.
Yeah, but I think it puts her in a better light if she's on the 2-on-1. I think she will win the 2-on-1. Clayton is clearly only attracted to Shenae via his nether regions, but I feel like it's at a certain point you got to think about the realistics, and I think he will end up choosing her.
Well, we'll have to pick this up next week then, and we'll have to see how it goes. But thanks for stopping by. I always appreciate it. Can you hear me? Are you still there?
All right. Nice talking to you, Dave. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, good seeing you. Sorry about
my connection is bad.
No, we got that delay. We're 3,000 miles away. But I'll talk to you soon. We'll see you in the chat. All right, bye.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
All right, there it is. All right, we have Sophia coming in from Mount Royal. All right, so there. Let's go back to your comments. Veronica says, am I dense as Flip, or why are my ideas being misconstrued? I don't know where we are with your ideas, Veronica. By all means, your ideas are valid and appreciated here. Angel says, Dan was laughing about your Mitch McConnell comment. and then said, Dan says Marjorie Taylor Greene is somebody's aunt. You can't even say Marjorie Taylor Greene without getting demonetized over here. But yeah, just because it's someone's relative doesn't make an excuse for what they are. But boy, we've triggered so many people. That's not my goal in the comment section, but so many. I'm on Dave's side. I'm on Sophia's side. Can it on the sides? We're just having a conversation. This is like I'm Team Jacob. It's like, what are we doing? I'm Team Ross. Are you guys Team Sad Shrimp Dave? I'll play Sad Shrimp Dave if I have to. All right, let's see here. We got more comments. Lots of comments coming in. Oh my gosh. A lot of comments. All right, let's go to the voicemail line. We got 4 or 5 voicemails. This is your last chance to call the voicemail line, 401-213-9828. Let's go back to South Carolina. I appreciate you by all means. I wasn't taking for granted your compliment. I was just reaching for a joke there. But thank you so much for calling back. So Dr. Joss said, I was actually surprised Susie and Rachel and Gabby were also talking. Isn't anyone feeling secure enough to not feel threatened by Shenae? These are great questions to ask, which is so funny because Ashley then says, Dr. Josh, are you friends with Shenae? Now here's what we have. I think we have a situation where the men, and again, this is just so far me and Dr. Josh, but if any other guys want to call in, are the men watching this through a different set of eyes than the women? And maybe we lack the empathy of what it would be like to have that toxicity around. You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong, and it's not to say if this was the Bachelorette that there wouldn't be problematic men. We saw Yosef, we saw, all these different people, Chad, some people that, someone like Chad had redeeming qualities. He was likable till he wasn't. Do you know what I mean? He would say funny things, and some of the guys liked him, but then he would be a bully and have this rage and all these other things. It doesn't mean that one side's not true. It just means they're all humans, and some resort to like that reptilian energy where they're just like fighting to survive in this kind of social construct. I think it's important we remember that. People go, oh my gosh, Shenae, she's the worst. I would never act that way. Well, good for you. Oh, by the way, I'm on the wrong microphone. Oh boy, you guys have been probably saying, why are you on the wrong microphone? I just realized that. All right, I'm back. I'm on the Roadcaster. All right, sorry about that. So anyways, I'm not, and again, I'm not saying, boy, you guys are keeping me on my toes tonight. This doesn't feel like, this doesn't really feel fun right now. but sometimes these conversations aren't, where you might say, oh, I would act, we watch the show putting ourselves in the person's shoes and go, what would I do in that situation? I wouldn't do what Shenae's doing. I wouldn't do any of these things. Well, congratulations, congratulations. Some people don't operate. Sophia took to my saying low IQ, which by the way, someone said like Trump, that's a Trump line. People have talked about other people's IQs for a long time. It's not a Trump line, but maybe he did popularize it. I don't know. But the point being is that whether it's your IQ or emotional intelligence, and Sophia's probably right, it's probably more emotional intelligence. I should make sure I am impeccable with my words. But clearly Shenae couldn't have conversations with Elizabeth. Now, Elizabeth, we're going to go back a second here. Elizabeth explaining to Shenae what ADHD is. Maybe to Elizabeth, she's like, I'm going to be as precise and meticulous with my explanation as possible. That's fair. Now, but communication has to work in sending something out and receiving it. So that's not Elizabeth's fault. But for all we know, Shenae's receiving that as, oh, this is an entitled person who's talking down to me because people have talked down to Shenae her whole life because she doesn't have good emotional intelligence. Now, that doesn't mean we're making excuses for Shenae. That means we're trying to understand what makes her so triggered by being in this group. Let's go to the next call. Yeah. Good convos, though.
Hey, Dave. This is Colleen from Chicago.
I'm calling to defend Clayton as well. I agree with you, and I don't think that we have like enough information about any of the girls or even about Clayton to know if they are out of his league. I think that I could see this being another Matt James situation where we don't get to really see his personality at all because of all the drama that's happening. I guess as a fellow Midwesterner, I kind of relate to Clayton and his, like, he's so sweet and nice and he's just letting everything happen around him. And some people are just not necessarily cut out for the chaos that happens with, you know, TV and entertainment and the media and all these things. So I don't necessarily think that means that he's like a loser in real life and doesn't have anything to offer and has no personality. I just think we don't see it. And he is, I think, just generally like, he just seems like a shy guy. Anyway, that's my take on Clayton. But again, I don't think he's my favorite, but I don't think he's necessarily, like the women are like out of his league. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Okay, thanks, Dave. Bye.
Thank you so much, Colleen. And, you know, by all means, guys, I do apologize. I had the wrong audio on. I know I'm about to see about 50 comments from people telling me, we can't hear what you were saying. I don't know what voicemail you guys couldn't hear. I think it was South Carolina. I apologize. I mean, I'm not sorry in this. I'm trying my best. Tasha says, love you, babe. Is that because I'm getting fried? Tasha, can you hear me? Why'd you say I love you? Oh, I thought it was because you heard me getting slammed over here. Tasha sent me a picture of a husband always cooking his wife food, and she said, love you. Tasha's love language is make me food. She's on pure survival mode. So interesting stuff. I know I'm behind on the comments, but this is so fascinating, guys. Dr. Josh, by the way, new super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. The super chat's probably to tell me that I have bad audio. Sushi donated $2. Thank you so much, Sushi. I appreciate that. So Dr. Josh says, I like taking the devil's advocate and taking a step back to see the bigger issue. I believe you meant to say issue, liktui. Liktui, that might be issue, unless liktui is a word, I don't know. And then Dr. Josh says, I agree with Dave that there was sincerity in the moment of the apology. So Dr. Josh and I both think that the apology had sincerity, and then she looked hurt, but then she went right back to being the villain. I'm not saying she is blameless, but producers must be in, and then it cut off. I didn't read after that. But yeah, Josh, I feel like the same way. And by all means, Josh, it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to watch a show and not trust the edit, even when the edit tells you, she says, I didn't mean the apology. Do you just make your voice? I mean, maybe she is like Meryl Streep. Or maybe she apologized and it was like, oh my gosh, I just cried, and she went into defense mode. Come on, folks. Why do I sound like a conspiracy theorist over here? All right, we get it. No one can hear. Thank you. I do appreciate the comments. Obviously, I'm late to them. Can't hear the caller. Gotcha. Can't hear the caller. Dave needs a technical difficulty button. Yeah, guys, I just don't have a producer. I'm trying my best. I know. Dr. Josh said, I always felt like those who made drama were compensating for lack of connection or lack of getting enough validation. Yeah, and with Shenae's case, she's an interesting villain because she's actually getting a ton of, or she's getting a ton of validation, but clearly she can't play nice with them. Veronica says, good. It doesn't feel like fun here either. Well, thanks, Veronica. I feel like $1 million right now. I appreciate that you're having such a blast. That's my Catholic passive aggressiveness. Nicole says, I'm back. Are we defending Shenae here? No, Nicole, come on. Can you guys give me a second here? I might have to take a bathroom break to cool off. Michael says it's disturbing to watch all these people warn him and he still chooses Shenae over the community's concern. Hey, Angel with a super chat. Oh, $20. Thank you so much, Angel. I appreciate that. Notice how the super chats are coming in as soon as people realize how freaking annoyed I am right now that I feel like I'm being conflated. Oh, thank you, Catherine, for the nice post on Patreon. I don't know if she's watching right now, but she said a nice, kind thing on Patreon. I appreciate that. Veronica says, Nicole says, we are defending Shenae under the guise of humanizing her, not holding her accountable as a fallible human. Veronica, do me a favor and don't put words in my mouth. Please. I would appreciate that, Veronica. I'm taking the time here and to really dig deep in explaining the rationale here. And it's a little bit annoying that's the comment, right? Call back. I do have 4 voicemails. All right, let's go back to Kim in Texas. God damn it, folks.
Hey, Dave, this is Kim from Texas again, and you said you needed some more calls, so I thought I'd call right quick, and I'll try to keep
Kim.
this briefer than the last one. It was kind of long. But I think Shenae is being who she is. I don't think she's crazy. I don't think she's mental. I think she's being who she is. Everybody's not, nice. Everybody's not nice all the time. A lot of people are selfish people. And I think she is very focused on why she's on this show, and she's on this show to win. But she said that she had butterflies with Clayton, so maybe she actually kind of likes him, and she feels like she has to do whatever it takes to get him, not understanding that this looks crazy. And I don't know, but I don't think she's crazy. I think this is who she is. And to touch on, you talked about triggering. I'm never triggered by the things that I see on TV. There may be things on TV I see that I don't like, but you know how different things are trending at different times? There's always something. And to me, triggering is something that is like popular right now. Every time you turn around, people are saying they were triggered. Now, I'm not saying that some people are not triggered, but it seems that everything is triggering some people. And I'm with you. I think that if it triggers you, then you should not watch it. Once you realize you've been triggered, you should not watch it, and you should try to work on yourself so that you are not triggered by certain things. Try to heal from your situation so that you will not continuously be triggered or not be triggered so frequently or so deeply. But things don't trigger me, even if something is, I'm black. So if somebody's talking about racial issues, they don't trigger me. They may irritate me or make me mad, but it doesn't I may not like it, but so I'm not understanding that part. I'm with you on that. You're not trying to blame anybody. I'm not trying to blame anybody. But when you get triggered, I don't think it's Bachelor Nation's fault. I don't think it's the person's fault. I think it's whatever or whomever caused you to have that within you to be triggered. I think you should just work on healing that so that these things won't affect you anymore. And I pray for anyone who needs healing and is triggered by anything. Bye.
Kim, you're the best. We love your calls, and I appreciate your opinion. What I need to do is this. We're not going to end the chat because it's kind of like when you're having a set that's not going the way you want. We're not going to end on that. But I have to limit the crosstalk in the comment section because we're diving into a place where we're not being respectful, okay? So I will start banning people that are saying anything to each other that is anything less than positive. We just don't have that bandwidth right now to have conversations where once you understand you're in a shitstorm, the comment section's no longer productive, and ownership over my chat means not wanting to go there. So I am going to slide all the way up. I'm missing a lot of comments, but I'm up at the top right now. I'll give you guys about a minute to get this because there's a little bit of a buffer. Any crosstalk's going to be banned for the rest of the night, or just leave the chat right now. I'd love to take a voicemail on something different, but I am going to give this chat one song to chill while I go use the bathroom. Okay, so I'll be back in like less than 45 seconds. Look at that water. What did you just say? Did you just say something? Say it again. All right, we're back. Hold on. All right. Okay. Let's go back to some calls. Becky says, it's been reported someone is being coached by Games of Roses pod authors How to Win Bachelor. Any ideas who? Well, they gave me the book How to Win the Bachelor, and I haven't read it yet, although I do find them very interesting. Let's turn this down a little bit. The question being, who could be being coached? We don't want to get into any like Final Four spoilers. I don't know. I don't watch this show in that type of way. I watch it like, if you guys have been in the Discord, you know, I'm chatting with the Discord. I'm making Tasha made the merchandise, but I'm like doing other things. I'm tweeting, I'm taking notes. So it does take away an aspect of watching it just like somebody who just like absorbs it all. I don't know if that makes sense. So, no, I just said you did. Tasha goes, did you just steal my credit? I just said it, but I was like, I'm doing a lot. Like Tasha knows. I'm streaming the thing. I'm setting up my live stream, when people go, hey Dave, when do you sleep? You have to understand, sometimes I'm doing 5 jobs at once. So like Tasha, I don't know if you heard, but like I had the wrong audio up for like probably 5 minutes. So no one could hear the voicemails. And I'm like, well, go F me. It can be very frustrating. I'm doing a good job with my water, but I have to say, Tasha, I'm not here to criticize my fiance, but she's not good at drinking water. She's still on 11 a.m. yesterday. So chances are by tomorrow, she's still going to be on her weekend water amount. So we're going to have to get her consuming more water. Yeah, Kate C says, great idea. When I get frustrated, music and meditation helps. It's not so much, frustrated is a good way to put it because I wouldn't have ever thought this would be a conversation that would have the resistance that's like, no matter what I say, I'm being defined, like I feel like I'm being mischaracterized by what my intention is. And I don't like that. That pisses me off, to be quite honest. But by all means, criticize me, but the comment section blocking is the last thing I want to do. I mean, I literally have only like 12 people I've blocked in my lifetime, and it's all the same troll account. So I try very much not to have to do that. Let's go to a few more let's try to power through some voicemails here. All right. Oh, before I play the voicemail, I need to turn this background music up. Here we go.
Hey, Dave, it's Sarai.
Hey, Sarai.
So I've got a fashion question. It's because I haven't seen the episode at all because, I'm on the West Coast. West Coast? I know I did that really weird. But, so I'm going to a steakhouse tomorrow night with Mark. I know I'm a vegetarian going to a steakhouse. Thank God they have options. But they have a dress code. And they called it smart attire. So I'm thinking I've got ankle boots that are light brown, jeans, a nice top, and like a fake leather jacket, or should I wear a dress? And I'm trying to figure it out. So if you could, pull out your inner Tasha or anyone in the comments section can give me some advice, that would be great because I'm trying to figure it out because I'm leaving tomorrow afternoon. All right. See y'all soon. All right. Bye.
Bye. Can't you wear the fake leather jacket with the dress for nighttime? Let's let the comment section decide what Sarai should wear. Wouldn't that be fun if we let the comment section decide? Now you'll have to well, I don't like to apologize when I don't mean it, but like I was gonna say, you'll have to forgive me because I'm struggling to keep up with the comment section. But that's just how it works when you chat with people. I don't know how other people run their live stream, but I try to make it. And guys, I don't know how my brain works from like some sort of like psychologist point of view, but whatever section of my brain controls this which by the way is about a $1,500 or no with the laptop about a $10,000 setup with a bunch of different doodads. I'll pat myself on the back for that. It's challenging. I try to do it all. I don't know what else to say other than I know Veronica said you don't feel heard. There's a lot of juggling that's happening right now, and you can still talk to me. I'm just asking people to not get passive aggressive with each other. We don't need to do that. It's not productive. It's not helpful. Whatever. So if this isn't the chat for you to be in right now, for anyone out there, I totally get it. But at the same time, let's know when we're in a shitstorm and get out of it. All right. So we're trying to get out of it. Veronica, we can agree to disagree on the conversation about Shenae all day of the week. That's totally fine. The other person said, hurt people is like the other person said, that's BS. That's fine to disagree too. Like I said, elaborating on what you think someone's going through isn't making excuses for them. But we're not watching some sort of science experiment that's in a controlled setting. We're watching a science experiment that has producers dumping gasoline, oh, I thought I was going to spill, all over the situation. They know damn well what they're doing. All right, so I'm willing to keep on having that conversation for a few more minutes. But by all means, let's give each other a little bit of a benefit of the doubt. What the hell are we doing here? You know what I mean?
Hey, Dave, it's Stephanie from Kansas City.
Hey, Stephanie.
Missouri, and I just want to say you are showing behavior that is really hard for many people to get, which is seeing a behavior that you disagree with while simultaneously trying to understand where it's coming from, because people aren't necessarily just trying to be bad people. In this case, it could be that she's wanting to be manipulative, but being a great person that you are, you're trying to understand the behavior behind what is visually seen as the behavior on the television. All right, thanks, bye.
Thank you so much. You're very kind. By the way, sorry for your Kansas City Chiefs. We're Bengals fans over here now. So, but thank you so much. B Bean says no. Dave did not go eat a quick edible. I'm gonna time my edible for maybe like in another hour because I want it to kick in right before. I want to put my head on the pillow and then be like, oh shoot. I want it to hit right at the right moment. But thank you so much for that call. Yeah, look, this is what I do, guys. Different things trigger different people, respectfully, right? So Greg Grippo, do you guys remember how triggered people were with Greg Grippo? And then it sort of died down, and we had talked to psychologists, and they were like, he wasn't gaslighting. He was doing things, but he wasn't Just about every psychologist I've ever had watch the Greg Grippo thing said he wasn't gaslighting. But if you said that, we'd cruise. Oh, why are you sticking up for him? Why are you defending him? So if I look at Greg Grippo as an example of someone who's my same gender and race ish, I don't know, and I look at him, then oh, you don't get it. You're looking at him. Well, Shenae, I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of somebody I would have no other sort of idea with how Shenae lives through this world. There's pressures that people have when they're good looking, like Shenae, where she's probably been a target her whole life for people manipulating her. Like I couldn't begin to understand it all. But you can say, oh yeah, she's a villain. By all means, tall V, she's a villain. No one's denying that. Good grief, folks. All right, let's go. Good, put that on a soundboard. Good grief, folks. Let's go to Kate in Florida.
Hey, this is Kate in Florida. You said you wanted more Florida peeps.
Yes, Florida.
So here we are. I really didn't like Clayton at first, but now, that I'm thinking back on, all the other bachelors, I'm like, they weren't really that great either. So in comparison, he's actually, seems like a pretty good guy, all things considering. But yeah, okay. Thanks for having this, and see you in the comments. Bye!
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. So Gabby says, hard to have a life partner that is such a poor judge of character. It's interesting. Obviously, Clayton's watching it back, saying it's the hardest thing. By the way, there's one more voicemail, but if anyone wants to call in, I'm going to extend it for a few more minutes. We're not doing a West Coast live stream. But no, I didn't go outside and yell Serenity now. I'm perfectly fine. Look, I got to pee. I'm trying to run around. You should see what my thing looks like 5 minutes before a live stream, because I'm streaming the show, but the stream's always a minute or two behind, and then I'm taking notes on my laptop that I also run the studio with. It's not interesting to anybody, and I'm not complaining. It's just a lot to juggle. So anyway, yeah, I think Clayton. I mean, look, we've all dated people. That's my point. We've all dated. We've all been a poor judge of character. What does Clayton see in Shenae? I mean, they've obviously had some wild chemistry. You can't really define what chemistry is, but clearly he's got her on the bar top. They're making out. It's a whole thing. We're just gonna have to wait and see. But it's interesting nonetheless. Is this a call from? Let's a call from Australia.
Hey Dave, it's Kate here calling from Australia. I thought I'd change it up a bit with the questions because I'm from Australia. I don't know much about the Super Bowl, so for a completely different question, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl and why? Thanks, all the best. Bye.
Thank you. Well, I want. Let's see. Hold on. I want the Bengals to win because my fiance's from Bengals country, Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky. Will I be happy if the Rams win? Not really. The LA Rams don't really have a fan base. But I think it's great that the Australians watch the Super Bowl. Veronica says, Dave, I feel mischaracterized by your responses to my comments. I agree with you on almost everything, and yet I feel like my comments are stupid when you acknowledge them. Veronica, do me a favor. If you want to, DM me on Instagram and I'll send you my number and call in. This just isn't productive. You know what I mean? It's not it's one thing to play a voicemail, but it's not productive because I'm not trying to mischaracterize you. I don't think you're trying to mischaracterize me. Let's just figure it out. So, by all means, if you want to DM me right now, my DMs are open and I'll send you my number. Because the Google voicemail number, it does not connect to my phone in that way. But by all means, I can't speak for you because you have to understand this. I only see this thumbnail of you and your first name. That's all I know. So I can't speak for you. But I can tell you I show up and I try to find out the best in people. I try to find out what their thing is, right? That includes the guests, that includes the interviews, but that includes you guys in the comment section too. So if you feel mischaracterized, by all means, we're here. You know what I mean? We're not trying to feel that way. But, but I'll tell you what triggers me when I'm in the comment section and you're like, oh yeah, he says one thing, but he means another. It's like, hello, I'm here. What are we talking about? You know what I mean? So let's figure it out. So by all means, I'm not telling people not to talk to me or bring these things up to me. It's one thing when one person's on camera versus a commenter. It's another thing when it's two commenters. It's like, we're just not going to do that. And I don't have the sort of bandwidth to like Sarah or moderators and other moderators. No, we're not trying to ban people who disagree. That's not it at all. We're just trying to keep the environment being something where we see the benefit of what each other's trying to say. And I hope that I've come off that way with you. But I am defensive when it's like Team Sophia. It's like, no, we're talking. There's not team this, team that. We're talking. I see Shenae as somebody who struggles to compete with the words that someone like Elizabeth uses. We've all been in fights with those people. You try to be logical. Elizabeth says, please explain to me when I was bullying you. Oh, shut up. Shenae can't do it. She can't compete. They're in different weight classes here. All right, let's go to Virginia.
Hi, Dave. This is Dana in Yorktown, Virginia. I'm the old grandma in the bunch. I just wanted to point something out that I remember about Shenae. In the intro, she's from that very tiny town. And I just wonder if she's used to ever being in such a competitive environment. She may be used to being sort of top dog because there's not a lot of competition. And she may have zero experience dealing with it. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, the idea of Clayton going from, and by the way, Gina Rosici, thank you so much for joining the Patreon. I appreciate you. And she says, nobody has a lighting setup like Power Recap or Dave Neal. That is true. If I just turn this light off, we just literally disappear, right? It's just Excuse me, my chest is hurting. When I play a voicemail, I try to listen to the voicemail and catch up on the comments, but it's hard. Veronica says, "I would never forsake the opportunity to speak my mind." I don't even know what forsake means. The floor is yours if you would like it, Veronica. I think I got you. All right, here we go. We'll get you on the line. Call in. Let's see. Call in. What if I gave you a fake number? How funny would that be? And I'm going to make sure my Bluetooth is set up here. So give me like 1 minute if you can. And let's go to Roadcaster. It says we're connected. Let's disconnect that. We haven't taken a call through the Roadcaster in a while, but the phone line's open for you there, Veronica. And let's see if we can go back. Veronica says, Dave, all bullies have villain origins. You can sympathize with them, but it takes away from the actual victims. I guess that's where we disagree. I don't know if that negates the victimhood. So, but that's a good place to disagree. Like it's good to know at least where the crosshair is. It'll make the conversation a little easier. Kenya says, did Shenae apologize in this episode? She did, but then she also said like psych. She was like, yeah, I just said what I needed to say. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's true. I don't know. But like, it wouldn't be crazy to me to think that like Dr. Josh had said that she felt bad, apologized, did all that. And then in privacy, it was like, forget them. I know people that have been on this show that have been villains. Oh, here we go. All right. Hold on. Let me make sure I got the Bluetooth set up. Can you hear me? Oh, hold on. You're not. I can hear you, but I can't hear you on my phone. So just hold on 1 second. Check. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Hi.
Oh, good. All right. You're on. Thank you so much for calling in. You know, it's frustrating to communicate on different levels. So I appreciate you calling in.
Thank you for having me. I know I get a lot of comments on TikTok where people think I'm being harsh, but I just don't know how to articulate my feelings properly. I'm not trying to be mean. I don't think Shenae's a bad person. I just think that her acts commit more quote unquote cruelty than she recognizes. Okay, so for the layman, her wake, she casts a large wake. Is that what we're saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I like your comment because it's important to find out where we disagree. So you said, Dave, all bullies have villain origins. You can sympathize with them, but it takes away from the actual victims. I guess my attempt is now say if I was to I'm trying to put this into Rachel Kirkconnell, right? When it came out that she had taken photos at antebellum parties and she was being canceled and all this other stuff, I go, I didn't know what an antebellum party was. That doesn't take away from me sympathizing with how much of a struggle that must be for someone who's African American. You know what I mean? So Are we allowed to say, man, Shenae's messed up? And yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I totally agree with you because I grew up in Los Angeles, California. I had no idea what this whole issue was about. But then learning about people's experiences, I was like, okay, yeah, I can definitely see why her actions, though she didn't realize, the magnitude of them, why they would hurt other people. But at the same time, it was easy for her to plead ignorance. I don't think that Shenae has that same liberty. I think that she knew that she was being mean to Elizabeth and all the other girls.
Yeah, I kind of hold my judgment, my final judgment, till Women Tell All, because then you can really see, even though that is edited, with regards to Shenae, like I said, I see someone who's clearly one of the biggest villains the show has had, and it's interesting because most villains are caricatures and the lead's not actually that attracted to them. No offense to Queen Victoria. She stood no shot with Matt James. He didn't like her at all. She was a pawn that was supposed to be on the show, this and that. Well, Clayton's gone through a lot of red flags. The question being, do we fault him for that? Or is he just had no idea the severity of what was going on, even when people were telling it to him? You know what I mean?
Right. And I kind of hate to say it, but I do think that he is fairly innocent because I think that the producers played a large role in this whole scenario. But at the same time, it's you'd wish that he
had some cognizance where he recognized that she is manipulating him, but there's no evidence to prove that he's aware of that. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like the same thing with Matt James. We saw Victoria Larson being like pretty cruel to the other girls, but the producers never showed us that Matt James had any awareness of this. But both Victoria Larson and Shenae knew that they were being mean to the girls, and they both gloated about it. And that's kind of where it rubs me the wrong way, because I know that Shenae does have, you know, a villain origin story, and God can only imagine what she went through to get to that position. But I just can't sympathize with that because she knows that it's mean. You know what I mean? It's not like she has a hardened skin where she's just like, oh, I'm just blunt, I'm just tough. She knows she's being mean.
Do you
so
see?
That's why,
yeah, if you were, sorry for cutting you off. If you were, say her trial lawyer, could you make a case that Shenae is the victim? If you were paid to be her lawyer, could you present a case, even if it's not a good one, that Shenae is a victim here?
1,000,000% I could, because like I had heard the statistic, but I never like Googled it. But like people who are like cruel to children were like treated horribly as children. So it's like a cyclical effect. She's a victim, but she's making other victims. So where do we draw the line? You know what I mean? So she has some idea that she is hurting other people, and that's why I can't defend her. But of course I can make a case for her because she has a history, and her history is valid, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's a good point, and that's what we try to come to, is saying, hey, she's already going to go to quote-unquote bachelor prison. That's going to happen. The question is, are we going to do a guilty with explanation, in that being Shenae feeling, look, whether it's right or not, Shenae says, you know, we say we should believe people like when they tell us how they're feeling. Obviously, this show's riddled with like producer manipulation and all these different like two-faced things. But she says she felt victimized by the other people in the house. Was that caused by her own initial doing, by not taking Elizabeth's ADHD seriously? Probably. That's probably what started it. So it's almost like she doesn't realize she threw the first punch. She just realized she got jumped by the house.
Totally. And I agreed with Nick Viall's like, you know, interpretation of this whole thing. She is the victim in her own mind. But like I said, she's creating other victims. And so it kind of becomes like choosing the lesser of two evils. Like, yeah, Elizabeth could have handled this situation differently, maybe, but Shenae had cognizance of what she was doing, and whether her past dictates that or not, we can't allow people to create other victims. You know what I mean? Like, she's victimizing the whole house. It's kind of like the whole Regina George and Mean Girls thing. It's like, we know that she has depth to her, but we just can't defend it past a certain point.
Yeah, I hear you there. And I guess the question will be how she comes off on Women Tell All. I think that'll be like, but then again, we've already seen her shed tears and then turn back on it. But I think it'll be up to producers, and if people like are going to petition, if like say if she goes on Bachelor in Paradise or not, it'll be up to whether or not people can handle whatever her redemption story is. Because usually they do try to weave the villain out of it, or at least try to. Now, there's cases like Yosef and Chad Johnson. Although Chad Johnson made it to Bachelor in Paradise and then he kind of made it worse, but there are cases where like the producers kind of walked people out of this. So we'll have to see how all that goes. But I agree with you that just because she is a victim of whatever circumstances keep her from being able to communicate well, just because of that doesn't mean she has the right to drown all these other people. Like so that's where I maintain I'm not making excuses for. But you know, I've got my sister and I can't fight about anything. It just resorts back to immediate like we're 6-year-olds. And I look at that, and I love my sister, but I look at that as and my sister's a Karen in the making. I tell her that she's one bad Starbucks order away from being a viral video. But I look at that and I go, she's imprisoned by her inability to communicate when her limbic system is flared. I'm not an expert. I'm not a psychologist. I don't know much about this. But when I see that with my sister, like we got in a fight the other week, I just like immediately, like I tell her, Chase, I love you. Whatever. I totally try to de-escalate. We don't get the family dynamic on the show because they're all competing for a guy. So there's no reason for anyone to like help Shenae out of this. And of course, she's a product of her own doing because she wasn't able to just like a normal person wouldn't have been cast in her role. A normal person would be like, oh, like when getting called out for ADHD, for not taking Shenae seriously. A normal person would go, I'm so sorry. You're absolutely right. That was ridiculous of me. Your brain's different than mine, and I need to be more empathetic. Shenae's, she wasn't cast because of that. She was cast because she was gonna like hold her points of views to take it to the grave, like some people do. They just rather go down with the ship.
No, I totally agree with that. And like, my comments weren't so much like in the the whole live chat weren't so much directed at you. It was just that sometimes when, not specifically you, but when we focus too much on, where, the quote unquote villain is coming from, then it seems like we're almost being dismissive of where the victim is coming from. And I have this discussion a lot with like boys in general when they're like, oh, not all men. I'm like, no, you're totally right. It's not all men. But right now we're talking about the victim where the man was the perpetrator. So there's that. But I'm not trying to ascribe that, I'm not trying to make you the villain at all. And I also don't think that you're defending her because you're just trying to ignore that she's caused harm, because you acknowledge it a lot. But sometimes I think that we're so quick to forget that, like what she said to Elizabeth hurt, because a lot of people can feel pain by her. Not saying it's you specifically, but of course, like, Shenae is a victim in her own right. She is a human. I know that all my bullies, like, I've met their moms, like when I went to private school, you know what I mean? And their moms are so harsh. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I know like that, but at the same time, I'm like, that left me with a lot of trauma. I'm just starting therapy finally. It's just,
yeah, I am too. I'm getting going on that too. So go us.
Yeah, no, it's good because we're trying to start having kids, and I'm like, I cannot do this to my own kids.
Yes.
What I had in my childhood. And then there was one more thing that I wanted to say to you, because I actually was going to call in. I know this is going on super long.
No worries.
Oh, okay. So the idea is that, and it's not like ascribed to you or anybody, but it's like, I feel like as a society, we do try to make people fit into either good people or bad people. And I think that when we get too comfortable with the idea of like, oh, Shenae's a bad person, but how could she be a bad person if she's done all this charitable work? When we do that, it becomes almost like lazy. So like, I don't think that there's bad people or good people. I just think that there's people, right? And so I've read the Bible like over 50 times. I stopped counting, I think in like maybe 2014. And it's like when I read, I want to say, I should know what it is, but like the book of Acts, when God redeems, Saul and he becomes Paul, like he was killing Christians, right? And it's like, if God can redeem somebody who was killing his own chosen people, why can't we redeem somebody like Shenae? You know what I mean? So it's like, there's no bad or good people. It's just bad acts. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I feel like it just becomes too sloppy, because I do not want to think that Shenae is a bad person, and I don't think she's a bad person. But at the same time, like, her actions have affected a lot of people negatively, and I don't want to forget that she did that, because I don't think she's sorry in the long run. I don't know her heart, but I don't think she's sorry, and that's that. Like, that's where I'm sorry.
No, we'll have to see. They purposefully keep the villains from going on podcasts and all this, because as we know, the true people, this is like when people fight about politics. It's like, no. The true enemies are the politicians that are paid for all the bigger blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So we have to remember, Bachelor producers want this. They want Shenae to not apologize. They didn't want Rachel Kirkconnell to. Rachel Kirkconnell was risking getting sued by going on her Instagram live because she couldn't take the hate any longer. And she was somebody who wanted to make right by a situation. We don't really see that with Shenae. We see her social media as kind of playing into it all, but we'll have to wait and see. The only way I'll know how Shenae feels is when I watch or listen to a long-form podcast. Even the Women Tell All will be edited a certain way. So then we'll have to see if she's in a case like Yosef, who just has zero need or remorse for their actions, then it's like, all right, lost cause. Let's move on with the next season. But like you said, we just don't know. Sky said, we do this every season with every villain. No one is as good as they come off on the show, and no one is as bad. And this is a good example when people see Brendan Moraes, right? Everyone loved this guy. Then everyone hated this guy. Hey, newsflash, he made some mistakes. He's probably, I don't know. There might be a story tomorrow where he's no longer with Piper. We don't know for sure. But, he's probably just like most people. He's somewhere in the middle, trying his best with the information he has. But I understand how that can people can get very triggered by that. But I like what you said about the whole not all men thing. Like, no, yeah, not all men, but we're talking about a specific person here. So I guess the question becomes, can I have this conversation about someone who could be redeemable, like you mentioned in the Bible, or is it something we don't even have? Because I think she may be someone who learns a big lesson from this. We just don't know yet.
No, I totally think that she's redeemable. Like, I just don't think she's capable of that kind of evil. I mean, I'm sure you can imagine some atrocities that have been committed by other humans. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't think that she is a bad, like, if I'm going to use that term, a bad person. It's just, I do think that her actions have hurt a lot of people. And I guess I'm not a place to forgive her. I'm not ready to forgive her. And I don't want her to be rewarded quite yet. It's kind of like Victoria Larson. I thought that she was super mean, but when I saw her in Bachelor in Paradise and how everybody was ignoring her, I felt really bad for her until she those off comments, where she called somebody else aggressive. And I'm like, okay, so she hasn't really changed, if you know what I mean. But like, I'm still not going to hate her. I just think that her actions, carry more weight than she recognizes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'll let you go in a second, but it's almost like there's this theory, like whenever a celebrity gets famous, it's the age at which they got famous, which is like as far as their emotional compassion level comes, because they're kind of stuck in this moment. And with someone like Shenae, I refuse to, like, I don't expect her to evolve while she's still in the bubble of this season. I don't expect there to be some like take Clayton. He's like watching this back, hating how he did everything. And it's like, bro, be a little bit easier on yourself, man. No one knows, like none of us can judge what it's like to be on that show. Like how we would act. Like we have no clue how we would act. And so again, that's not me defending Shenae. That's just me saying, all right, let's wait until she watches the season, does her women tell all. And then, you know me, I'm going to have 10 videos on it with like regards to, what she says on Nick Vial's podcast and all these things. I hate when like there's a Reddit thread, Dave's defending Shenae. It's like, here we are, 2 hours into a live stream. I'm willing to talk to a phone book about it. And I just hope people realize that's me having compassion for people that were triggered by it, but still wanting to explore what the heck went down. You know what I mean?
No, I totally agree with you. And I totally agree with the humanizing of the bully, because I forget that sometimes we forget that the bully does have that past. And it wasn't like, I know I keep saying the same thing, but it wasn't so much you defending it. I just felt like so many people were getting distracted by her having, this potential past. And it's like, we have to remember both sides. But totally, like, I think that Shenae can come back from this. I just, like you said, I don't know if it's going to happen in this bubble. So if they put her in Bachelor in Paradise, I am ready to watch her. And even if she doesn't redeem herself, who's to say that she can't be a changed person in like 10 years? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. And you know what? You got the golden number. Call back after Bachelor in Paradise or after the 2-on-1 date, and we'll just see where we are. Because by all means, I'm not in the Shenae fan club. I'm going to be as critical on her as everyone else, but at the same time, we're going to keep on holding out hope. But yeah, by all means, we'll keep an eye on it. And thanks for calling in. I really do appreciate you calling in, because I don't want you to feel mischaracterized. I don't want to feel mischaracterized. And I think we kind of understand that we're kind of in a pretty close place, and I appreciate that.
Yes, I totally feel like we're in a close place, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to like articulate what I'm feeling, because I know that I struggle with that. I've been struggling with that. So thank you for allowing me to redeem myself, and thank you for having this very productive and like enlightening conversation with me, because I think that I see things differently. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And when you called in on the voicemail, I wasn't trying to pick apart your comments either. I thought they were very reasonable too. So I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to cattle prod anybody. But by the way, come to a stand-up show soon. I know we're both in LA, so we got to get you out to a show. All right?
Yes, I absolutely will. Thank you so much, Dave.
All right. Well, have a good night, and call back anytime. We'll talk later. All right?
You as well. Thank you.
Right,
good night.
Good night. All right, that was Veronica, everybody. Wasn't that a nice chat? So, I think Veronica will probably agree that it's just very tough to get a point across. I don't know how many characters you get when it comes to the comments, but you like how that's how I type. Just like one at a time. That's how I type so many typos. But, it's very hard to communicate your points in any way outside of conversation because it would literally take forever. Then you're reading it in a sort of twisted tone. That's why I try my best to not have that sort of cross-fighting. It's just not productive. That's why I, for the most part, don't do it myself on the channel. I'll respond to people for the algorithm, but like, you know, you're not going to catch me like spending the whole day. Arr! And if you do, sometimes I'll have to tell Tasha, like, take my phone away. All right, I'm going to get out of here very shortly. There are 2 final voicemails. Let's get to them. You guys have been fantastic. I really do appreciate all of you guys.
Hello, Dave. It's Sarah from Tennessee, Georgia Peach at Heart. Tonight's episode was great. Serene's date was fun and exciting. Gabby's date was surprising. We haven't really seen her a lot this season, but seemed fun. And her story about her mom, it really tugged at my heart. And so she seems really like a fun and a girl that would make a great wife for him. The whole Shenae and Genevieve thing, wow. Feel for her, feel for both of them. Shenae's I feel like, very misunderstood. But I get where everybody's coming from. But at the same time, we don't know everybody's stories or background, so that's really hard also. But I see what everybody's talking about. I see both sides. I hear everybody. I see everybody. But at the end of the day, we never know what somebody's going through, so we just have to be careful about what we say, what we do, and just govern ourselves accordingly at the end of the day. Looking forward to next week's episode. Hopefully we get answers that we need. So, but anyway, I enjoy you. Y'all have a great day.
Oh, thank you, Sarah in Tennessee. Yeah, it's an interesting thought of like being misunderstood and how much, I mean, you know how it feels here. Like Veronica can attest, and I'm sure other people in the chat, to feel misunderstood. It feels bad in this moment in front of 200 people. Imagine that. And I'm not saying Shenae's misunderstood, but imagine feeling mischaracterized or edited a certain way on the show. We had Cassidy, who wanted to defend herself and made like a statement that then the Warner Brothers and the producers had her like take that down. Like you can't get into it. So like there's plenty of people that really have been on the show and really felt like they didn't come off the way they thought they would. You know, even Queen Victoria. I've had people write in when her season was airing. That was when my channel was starting to grow. And I had people that were like, hey man, I'm friends with Victoria. I think you're being a little hard on her. By the way, we had a $2 super chat earlier from, I believe, Kim, and I wanted to give her a shout out. Oh, and then Dr. Josh donated a $20 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, guys. So yeah, it's a good conversation because, you know, I'll be the first to tell you, like when I'm talking to Sophia and I'm trying to read a comment that's calling me out, I'm feeling triggered because I'm like, it's almost like you feel like you're being sucker punched. And I know that's not the intention, but it just comes down to like knowing, like, you know, you're just like playing the violin on the Titanic. Like, we're all going to do this. We're going to figure it out. And in most cases, I believe that to be the case. Now, don't get me wrong. I've had conversations with people on Reddit where like, I'm like, listen, my username is my name. And again, I'm probably at the point where I should delete that. I should just go back to being anonymous. I just try to hold myself accountable on Reddit by having my name. That way it's like, I'm going to respond and I'm going to be me, and you can criticize me all you want, but I'm going to be here. I don't like, and this isn't the case in the YouTube chat, but I don't like when I'm on Reddit trying to talk and some random ass person like Sweet P92 is calling me names. And I'm like, who the hell are you? Like, I don't even know who you are. I'm here. You know, and I always tell people, call the voicemail lines. You know what I mean? I don't even play half the voicemail lines during the week, but like, it's like I'm here showing up to what I want to be a conversation. And some people not here because the YouTube's very accountable, but on Reddit, people are just like, no, they don't want resolution. A lot of people they just want that gladiator fight to still going on, because a lot of people that don't understand that these are humans, they're so far separated from maybe the reality of it that they don't see the scar tissue that comes from these humans having to live their life with whatever this villain role is that they have on them. So I've changed my point of view on the show over the years, having gotten to know former leads, former contestants, former villains. I know somebody who was on the show in the last couple years that people consider a bad person. And I know this person to be somebody who's breaking down with their dad, just trying to be loved and trying to overcome the fallout from being on this show. So I can understand the bravado, the I don't feel any of this unflinching exoskeleton, but also know that these are wounded people when they leave this show. All right. I think this is our last call.
Hi, Dave. I'm calling from Toronto, Canada. But Shenae keeps telling everyone in all of her little speeches she doesn't care. She's acting. She keeps telling us who she is. So why should we try and find out why she's psychologically the way she is when she knows that she's being nasty, cruel, manipulative, making stuff up and acting? I don't get it.
Yeah, good point. We should just throw them all to the wolves. I don't know if Shenae knows how she's coming out. Like I said before, she's considers herself some sort of victim. I don't know how she's going to feel watching this back. I don't. That's not a defense of her. But like I said before, we're getting a little redundant. I think we got to the place where we can end the live stream. But I think I'll give you guys your last chance to call. Last chance to call, 412-113-9828. Last call. I'll leave that up for 20 more seconds. But you say she knows she doesn't care, all these things. And I say, well, just because she apologized and then had her in the moment, which is her private interview, just because all that happened in some sort of chronological order doesn't mean they don't film an episode, come back and find out how poorly they're received and film again. They're in it. They're train wrecks. They're runaway trains in some cases. So we'll have to see. Could there be a scenario where Shenae doesn't apologize at all and comes off how she is? Yeah, but I don't know. I've kind of followed her Instagram, and she does seem like she has some redeemable qualities. So I do. Let's see. We usually will go to the contestants the night of their when something went down. So obviously she hasn't apologized at all, which people really want. People really want that apology. My guess, having seen how it works with Women Tell All, is that they're going to wait till Women Tell All where she's going to give an apology. Again, people will decide to believe it or not. She's already apologized once and then kind of rescinded on it. Melly says, I just subscribed, so thank you so much. All right, let's see if she's got anything going on. Someone said, nice dress, and she said, thanks, babe. And then she posted, see you next Monday. So I bet if her comments are not, imagine being this perfect, softy for Blake. I wonder if she's got, it looks like she's probably got her comments closed. All right, well, see how it goes. Yep, what can you say? What can you say? But by all means, I guess if I can't give any advice, I've never been on the show, but I would say that, trying to, I'd love, we have a good handful of really solid therapists and psychologists that follow the channel. I'd love to find out I'm going to write this down. Psychology, and it might be super obvious to you, but psychology of being triggered by contestants on show. I'm going to ask my psychology people to help me out with that. What makes let me say this. What makes reality different than fiction? And also, should we consider this fiction? Is there any way we can watch this and go, this is all bullshit? Now, obviously, we know it's not. It's a combination of things. It's taking 1,000 hours of footage and condensing it down to about 10. It's about 12 episodes. It's actually about 6 hours of footage when you take out all of the commercials, maybe even 5. I bet you could boil this show down to 25 minutes of what's actually on the show. By the way, Josh, I did get your super chat, but I don't think I saw your comment. It says, Dave, love what you are doing. Keep up. Thank you again. I really appreciate that. You guys, I really appreciate all the support. And I do mean this well. We had the comment section on the brink of not where we wanted it to be, and we pulled it back. And that's thanks to you guys. I did see some of your comments saying, I'm going to wait a minute. And we did it. I congratulate you guys and everyone. it's never good to be like, can you imagine if I just hit the button, live stream's over? That must happen. People must get that way. I remember my buddy, I'll tell you this funny story. One of my best friends, he's a great guy, but he's the worst communicator. And we were arguing about something, and I was stuck on the highway driving to San Diego for a show. So I had like 4 hours to kill. We were arguing about something, and then he hung up on me. And I was like, all right, whatever. You know, you hate when a friend hangs up on you. This hasn't happened to me in years. It's like, what are we hanging up on each other for? And then I let like 10 minutes go by, and then I call him back, and I don't say hi. I just go, let me guess, you got your gaming headset on and you're playing video games. And he just started laughing, and I go, let me guess, you hung up on me, got all upset, and started playing video games. He was like, that's exactly what I did. I was like, all right. And then we just made a joke out of it. I was like, listen, man, we're trying to respect, we got back to that common denominator where we're trying for the same thing. Obviously, Veronica and I are not trying to rip open people's wounds here. We're trying to figure out like what we just watched. You know what I mean? But I think most of us are on the same page that like Shenae is a real toxic character in that house. I mean, did you see the group date after Shenae wasn't even on it? They were like, ding dong, the Wicked Witch is dead. They were just excited that she wasn't even on the date. Sure, they still roasted her, low-hanging fruit. So anyway, we'll have to see how that all goes. I'm going to get out of here. I gave you guys an extra hour. I'm not doing a West Coast live, but I am going to watch, maybe I'll watch a little Ted Lasso with an edible. What do you guys think? Thank you, Sophia, for calling in. I always appreciate you. Sophia called me out. She doesn't have low IQ. All right. I love it. Someone in the comments says, Sophia says, screw you, sweet P92. That, by the way, that's got to be someone's aim, right? Kim says, I never go on Reddit. Sounds toxic. That's the problem. It's like, I try not to, but then people will tag me into conversations and people will want me to make statements about things. There'll come a time and day where I completely leave Reddit. But, and again, Reddit accuses me of just stealing content. I'm like, I Google Bachelor and I find out what the news is just like everyone else, But anyway, I'm not here to defend myself against them. I've already learned that there's a subsegment of Reddit that due to the conditions of Reddit, the anonymity and all that they'll never be happy on that platform. It's just a product of people being a certain way on different platforms. All right, Abby Thomason is here. Good to see you, Abby. Love to see you. And you got to call in sometime, Abby. It's been, I feel like Abby's ghosted us. Don't you guys feel that way? Abby Thomason. Mrs. You can't handle the truth. Esquire at large. We're looking forward to an update, Abby. I see. Okay, my apologies. She says she's always in class during the streams. You mean to tell me? Hold on a second here. You mean to tell me, Abby, you don't keep my live stream on in class underneath your notebook? What kind of law student are you? Trisha said, before you close out, like the video. No, Heather, it's okay, Heather. I really had to pee. I was getting annoyed, but I really did have to pee. So it's all right, Heather. I appreciate you. You're too kind. I can be held to the same standards as everyone else that I'm not going to lose my cool. B Bean says, likes are free and help Dave. Appreciate you guys. This might be, this live stream might already be demonetized. They have a way of doing that. Michael says, and we'll wrap this up. We are wrapping it up. Michael says, what good is her apology? The damage is done and being done. Yeah, I think it's less, I think an apology is a formality, but then the real conversations on the podcast will be interesting. People might choose not to listen to it, but I, for one, would be interested to hear her talk with Nick and some others. I mean, I don't do these Bachelor interviews. I'm not approved. They're literally not allowed to talk to me. But I think if I were allowed to talk to Shenae, I could do a number on the conversation. That's just my own confidence or cockiness, but I think I could have a good chat with her. But again, I know I'm not in the club. So anyway, Sophia says she's screening comments for sure. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm just trying to. Nicole says she'll double down on Women Tell All. I feel it in my bones. Maybe. We'll see. It'll be worth watching. Nicole says watch her be on Paradise. That's where I mean, I don't know if I don't think she's going to make the cut. I don't think they need her. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's enough quasi-villains like Cassidy's. They could easily put Cassidy on and not ruffle the feathers of a very large neurodivergent community. You know what I mean? So anyway, we'll have to see. But yeah, you might be right. We'll have to see. Zara says, I mean, her apology tonight sounded sincere with the crying, but we know it was a total act from her. Well, we'll have to see. Like I said, I think, I don't know what I think at this point. Yeah. PMD says, I'm bothered by the amount of time spending her because of her bad behavior. Yeah. And we see this in the middle chunk of this season where we don't have much to do with the group dates are kind of boring. When we looked at like rose ceremonies, when they're like, we're going to cancel the cocktail party and everyone's like, oh my gosh. It's like, yeah, because they had so much drama to get to. While we don't like the drama, this is what we're all talking about. So clearly, it's there. Thank you so much, everyone else. Just trying to get through the last final comments here. I checked the voicemail line. Nope, we're caught up on voicemail, so voicemail line is gone. If anyone does want to leave a voicemail for tomorrow, by all means, you can take the voicemail line down. And if there's any voicemails worth making a video about, I always do appreciate that. Maybe some new information might come out tomorrow. Usually there's some podcasts and this and that, and we'll be able to figure all that. Nicole says, wait, Clayton's tweets are funny. All right. All right. Lastly, Nicole's going to get us to go to Clayton's tweets. And then, of course, if anyone wants the merch store, we've got that. I don't even follow Clayton on Twitter. On Twitter. Wow. Let's see what he said here. Let's go to Clayton. That's an old apology. Hot take, maple syrup is syrupy. Big brain Clay, let's go. Lock her up. She's killed all my credibility. We saw that one earlier. Haven't taken off the paint for 3 weeks now. Yeah, he's playing into it. If I have to take credit for all the bad, then I'm taking credit for all the good. I really, he mentioned on the podcast how much of a people pleaser he wants to be. I can guarantee you guys, watching this season back, it might be therapy for him, but it sounds heartbreaking. It sounds heartbreaking because I think he really thought he was going to come off as this lovable guy that he's probably always been his whole life. I'm sure his teammates love him. It looks so much like you see his mom? I mean, they look like they have so much love that he's like, oh, I'm going to come off so nice. And then he watches the season back and everyone's like, God, he's like, whoopsie. That's not what I wanted. All right. I'm just going to get to Nicole Bayless says, go Bengals. Who day? That's right. Trying to get through. Abby Thomason says she'll call in soon. Well, we're going to hold you to that. This is a binding contract, Abby. I will sue you, and you will represent me.
I'm drunk.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
You can't handle the truth.
Abby Thomason's representing me in the case against Abby Thomason. Nicole says, yeah, the roast date was actually good. I think I was going to make a roast of Shenae tomorrow. I might roast somebody else. I really do like the idea of roasting people you love. And I don't want to add more meanness to the world. When I roasted Katie Thurston, it was a lot of fun. But I don't know. We'll have to see. Trisha says, Shenae talk with Dave versus Nick. No, I mean, it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'm not in that club. It's okay. I don't really care. Grateful Edge says, we enjoyed the extra hour of content from our favorite crustaceous Belizean bad boy power recapper. That's right. Sad Shrimp Dave. No longer sad. We turned it around. You are seen, Nicole. All right. What's going on? Oh boy, I'll call Brian Friedman, says Bruce. I don't know if I can afford Brian Friedman. Get a super chat. All right, folks. Well, I'm going to turn the music on and get out of here. By all means, if there's any comments trickling in right now, I'll spend a few minutes responding to them. Thank you so much for always being so kind. I truly mean that. Y'all are great. We had a great day today on the channel. We had a ton of views, which we really need because the January was a real struggle for us. I want to thank everyone. By the way, I got to say this. I know I'm trying to get out of here. There's 168 people in the chat. Big things are happening in the Dave, Neal, Tasha, Courtney world. We're not having a kid yet. But we're trying to get married. We're trying to shift people over to our channels that do the social media because this seems to be the place where Tasha can better express her creativity right now, at least with Instagram. So, Tasha, look, I didn't even see your core memory. Are you in there? So we just did yoga earlier. Oh boy, I was gonna say you better not have me shirtless. Oh, she does. You don't need to see shirtless Dave. Only for a moment. Yeah, don't pause. I literally. This is such a cute thing on the dog. Your dog is creating a core memory. Yeah, so whenever we do yoga, the dog tries to sleep on the mat, and it becomes impossible to do yoga. But he looks... Tasha, you did very nice with this. I saw Amanda liked it. So anyway, if you guys do use Instagram and could follow Tasha and myself, we are going to be making a lot more content on there. We love the YouTube, and we appreciate this, but... Tasha is going to be telling a lot more of our travel stories on Instagram, and I'm going to try to share extra comedy. We made this one earlier if you didn't watch it. This is a camera trick we did last night on a hike. You do a fake, that's a fake bow and arrow, folks. So there she is. We did a bow and arrow on a hike last night. So anyway, if there's any way in which you could freely give us some support on Instagram, Tasha Courtney, D Neal's on there, and you can go check some of that content. We appreciate it, and who knows, we'll be posting our wedding planning and all that stuff as it happens over there. But I appreciate you guys so much, and we'll get to the music, and I'm gonna let y'all go, and I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning for the recap at 7 a.m. All right, bye, folks. Thank you, Zaras. Appreciate the follow. Bye.
You cut the crap.
Oh my.
I can feel it in my veins.
Hey, Tasha, Teresa says Boone needs his own yoga mat. And now here I am on Amazon, dog yoga mat. Shuffle your Shenae on top of the like button. Jeannie Rasici, thanks for joining the Patreon. We appreciate you. We'll have some Patreon content tomorrow. Is this church rock?
I wanna get high on you, caught by surprise by you. Want you to make my heart feel as much as I know it should. trashy bar. Another glass and I am going places. Makes me laugh about the irony of everything. I like the way you're thinking. I don't really care about the music on the dance floor. I don't really mind all the smokers in the bathroom. I don't care at all, baby. You got my attention. So you were saying, oh no, I don't see the logic of things. It's quite a lonely world that we're living in. Oh baby, you are something special, I'm sure. Everything makes total sense when you're next to me.
I'm really sorry.
Where you wanna go? I am all about adventure times. Another drink and I'll go anywhere. The way you smell, like a flash in the universe. You are illuminating. I don't really care about the people in the bar line. I don't really mind all the who goes doing stage dives. I don't care at all, baby. You got my attention. So you were saying, I don't see the logic of things. It's quite a lonely world that we're living in. Oh baby, you are something special, I'm sure. Everything makes total sense when you're next to me. Even if I told you I could never let you go, I'm not so sure you believe me. But if I mean to show you, I will never let you go. No, 'cause you don't see the logic of things. It's quite a lonely world that we're living in. Oh baby, you are something special, I'm sure. Everything makes total sense when you're next to me.
Oh my god.
You cut the crap.